The dinner table was silent as my husband, Marcus, stood up with a champagne glass in hand. His mother smiled excitedly, and his sister, Amanda, could barely sit still. I sat quietly, my fork hovering over my untouched salmon, already knowing what was coming. "I have an announcement," Marcus said proudly. "Jessica and I are getting married next month." His mother, Martha, clapped with joy, and Amanda squealed. Neither of them looked at me. I wasn't surprised. They had been ignoring me for months. But Marcus, his father, Henry, said, looking confused, "What about Sarah? You're already married." Marcus grinned, and my stomach tightened. Actually, Sarah and I were never legally married. It was just a ceremony, nothing official. "Right, honey?" Everyone turned to look at me, waiting for tears, anger, or a scene. Instead, I calmly set down my fork and took out my phone. "Is that what you think, Marcus? My name is Sarah Chin, and at 34, I was watching my husband of 8 years try to erase our marriage with a lie. What he didn't know, his perfect plan had a big problem. Me. I had known about Jessica for months. The late nights, secret texts, sudden effort in his appearance. It was obvious. But it was his mother, Martha, who confirmed my suspicions 3 months ago. I overheard her whispering on the foam in her garden. "Yes, Jessica dear, he's handling it. Once we prove there's no legal marriage, you two can have your wedding. Sarah won't get a thing." That day, something in me changed. The pain turned into determination. I spent the next 3 months gathering proof, setting a trap, and waiting for this moment. Marcus smirked. "What's on your phone, Sarah? Pictures from our wedding? Those don't mean anything legally." Martha chimed in with fake sympathy. "Dear, we know this is hard, but without proper registration, that ceremony was just a party." I met her gaze, remembering all the times she had looked down on me. My career, my background, my choice to wait on having kids. She thought she had won. "Actually," I said, opening my email, "I have something better than wedding photos. Want to see?" Marcus's smile faded. "Sarah, don't make this difficult. Jessica's waiting outside to join us for dessert. We wanted to do this properly, give you time to understand." "Understand what?" I interrupted. "That you plan to marry another woman while still married to me? That you and your mother lied about our marriage? That you secretly moved our assets before making this announcement?" Martha turned pale. Amanda froze, staring at her plate. Henry looked at his wife and son, his confusion turning to realization. "What are you talking about?" Marcus snapped, but I saw fear in his eyes. I turned to Henry, who had always been kind to me, though he rarely stood up to his wife. "Henry, did you know Martha helped Marcus remove my name from your family's summer house deed last month?" Henry's head whipped toward his wife. "Martha?" "She's lying," Martha said quickly, but her hands shook as she grabbed her wine glass. I kept scrolling through my phone. "I have all the documents here, including the original deed where my name was clearly listed. Funny how it disappeared just before this announcement." Marcus slammed his hand on the table, making the plates shake. "Enough. Show me proof we're legally married. Right now." I smiled, thinking about the documents safe in my lawyer's office, with copies in multiple places. "Oh, I will. But first, shouldn't we invite Jessica in? She should hear this too." Right then, the doorbell rang. Martha jumped up, eager for a distraction. "I'll get it." I leaned back in my chair, watching everything unfold. Jessica would walk in, expecting to see a broken wife giving up. Instead, she was about to find out that her future with Marcus was built on nothing but lies. The trap was set. Now it was time to watch it spring. Jessica walked into the dining room confidently, her high heels clicking on the floor. She was everything Martha had always wanted in a daughter-in-law. Young, elegant, from a rich family. The emerald ring on her finger sparkled, and I noticed how Martha smiled proudly. It was a family heirloom she had never offered to me. "Sorry I'm late," Jessica said, but her smile faded when she saw my calm expression. You thought I'd be gone by now." I finished for her. "Please, sit down. You need to hear this too." Marcus started to argue, but his father, Henry, stopped him. "Let her speak. I want to know what's going on in my own family." I pulled up a photo on my phone and held it out. "This is from the county clerk's office. 3 months ago, someone tried to check our marriage records. They pretended to be me, but the signature was fake. Martha, would you like to explain?" Martha froze, her wine glass halfway to her lips. When that didn't work, I continued, someone tried to change the records to show our marriage was never official. The clerk's office found it suspicious and informed me. They also kept copies of everything, including the fingerprints on the forms. Martha, those are yours. Jessica glanced between Marcus and his mother, looking unsure. What is she talking about? Nothing, Marcus snapped. Sarah's just making trouble. We're not legally married. I made sure of that. You made sure? I raised an eyebrow. Like how you made sure to hide the beach house you bought last year. The one you paid for with our shared money but only put under your name. Henry's head shot up. You bought another house? I turned to Jessica. Did he tell you about that house? Or about the secret account he's been moving money into for the past 6 months? Jessica's face went pale. Marcus. Don't listen to her, Martha said quickly. She's just jealous. Marcus told us you're perfect for this family. Young, able to have children, unlike someone who's too focused on her career. It was a typical insult from Martha, but it didn't bother me anymore. Actually, I said, opening another email, let's talk about family. Jessica, did you know Marcus was married before? Before me? Silence filled the room. What? Martha whispered. 10 years ago, in Vegas. It was a quick wedding. He paid her to stay quiet and got it annulled. But the records still exist. Funny how he never told you. Jessica sat down heavily, her perfect future with Marcus falling apart. That's enough, Marcus shouted, his calm mask finally breaking. None of this matters. Our marriage isn't legal, and you can't prove otherwise. I smiled. Actually, about that, Henry, would you like to see the real marriage registration? The one your son filed himself. The one that proves he committed fraud when he bought that house under only his name. I handed Henry my phone. His eyes widened as he scrolled through the documents. Marcus, he said, his voice full of disappointment. What have you done? It's fake, Marcus insisted, but sweat was forming on his forehead. Like how you faked my signature to take my name off the summer house? I said quietly. The forensic report on that was very interesting. My lawyer has copies. Martha shot up from her chair, knocking it over. You investigated us. How dare you? No, Martha. How dare you? How dare you help your son commit fraud? How dare you try to steal from me? The clerk's office already filed a report about your actions. Jessica stood up, pulling off the emerald ring and dropping it on the table. You told me she agreed to step aside, she said to Marcus, her voice shaking. You said everything was taken care of. Jessica, wait. Marcus reached for her, but she stepped back. My father's a judge, she said, tears in her eyes. What do you think he'll say about this? Then she turned and walked out, her heels clicking quickly as she left. A moment later, we heard her car start and speed away. Martha collapsed back into her chair, looking shocked. This isn't how this was supposed to happen. No, I agreed, standing up. You thought I was still the naive woman who married Marcus 8 years ago. The one who ignored your insults, who tried so hard to earn your approval. But people change, Martha. They learn. They prepare. I turned to Marcus, meeting his eyes. The divorce papers will arrive tomorrow. I suggest you read them carefully, especially the part about your forgeries. My lawyer is very thorough. You can't do this, he whispered, defeated. I already have. I picked up my purse and looked at Henry. I'm sorry you had to find out like this. You deserved better than a son who lies and a wife who helps him. As I walked toward the door, I heard Henry push back his chair. Martha, he said sternly, we need to talk. And Marcus, call your lawyer. You're going to need one. I stepped outside into the cool evening air, feeling lighter than I had in months. Behind me, I heard Martha's panicked voice and Marcus's weak excuses, but none of it mattered anymore. I had the truth, the proof, and most importantly, my freedom. And I wasn't finished yet. The weeks after that dinner went exactly as I planned. Marcus got the divorce papers, and each page showed how well I had recorded all his lies. When he realized I knew about his secret offshore account, the look on his face almost made the last 8 years worth it. Martha tried to fix things, of course. One morning, she showed up at my office, looking as elegant as ever, holding a fancy handbag I had once admired. Sarah, dear, she said sweetly, surely we can talk this through as a family. I didn't even look up, Family doesn't steal identities, Martha. The clerk's office was very curious about how you got my personal information to fake those documents. Her face went pale, but she kept going. That was a misunderstanding. I was just trying to help Marcus with the paperwork. The police don't see it that way, I cut in, finally meeting her eyes. Neither does Henry, from what I hear. That one hurt. Henry had moved out the day after our dinner and into their legal beach house. The one Marcus hadn't tried to hide. 2 days later, he filed for divorce. He couldn't forgive Martha for helping Marcus commit fraud. "You've ruined this family," she snapped, finally losing her calm. I smiled. "No, Martha. You and Marcus did that. I just exposed it." After she left, I got an unexpected call. It was Jessica. "I just wanted to thank you," she said softly. "My father told me that if I had married Marcus, I could have been part of the fraud. You saved me from a huge mistake." "He would have done to you what he did to me," I said. "You deserve to know the truth." The divorce went quickly, especially after the court saw the proof of Marcus's fraud. The hidden beach house, the fake signatures, none of it impressed the judge. Martha's attempt to change county records didn't help their case either. One evening, Henry called me. His voice was heavy with regret. "I knew Marcus had changed, but I never imagined this. I'm sorry, Sarah. I should have seen it sooner." "You're not responsible for their choices," I told him. "You did the right thing when you learned the truth. That's what matters." Even Marcus's sister, Amanda, reached out. She found proof that Marcus had secretly taken money from their grandmother's trust fund. The money meant for both of them. Suddenly, her golden boy brother didn't seem so perfect anymore. In the end, the divorce settlement worked out well for me. Marcus's fraud backfired, and I got more than I ever expected. The hidden beach house was sold, and the money helped pay back what he had stolen from me. Martha wasn't so lucky either. The clerk's office pressed charges for identity theft and attempted fraud. Her once glamorous social circle started avoiding her. Even her country club, the place she loved so much, quietly suggested she should resign. 6 months later, I sat in my new apartment, sharing a bottle of wine with my friend Lisa, the one who had helped me gather evidence. "I still can't believe Martha thought she could mess with legal records and get away with it." Lisa laughed. "What did she think this was, the 1950s? I shook my head, smiling. "She never thought I'd fight back. None of them did. That was their mistake." "And now?" Lisa asked. "What's next for you?" I walked to the window, looking at the city lights. "I'm thinking about starting my own consulting firm. I've certainly learned a lot about uncovering fraud." We laughed, but I was serious. Through this whole mess, I had discovered a strength I never knew I had. Marcus and Martha had tried to erase me from their lives, to write me out of their story. Instead, they helped me write my own. One of strength, preparation, and victory. Marcus, last I heard, was living in a small apartment, his reputation ruined. Jessica had moved away to escape the scandal. And Martha? She was doing community service, her perfect social status crumbling. Henry called me sometimes to check in. He was rebuilding his life, focusing on Amanda and their grandmother. We met for coffee now and then, two people healing from the same betrayal, finding comfort in the truth. As I watched the sunset, I felt completely at peace. Marcus had thought he could erase me, start over like I never existed. Instead, he gave me the push I needed to fight back, not with anger, but with intelligence and preparation. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. It's about coming out stronger, wiser, and completely free. I raise my glass to that truth, grateful for everything I have learned and for the future ahead.